1 Kings chapter 18, verse 41 says, Then Elijah said to Ahab, Go eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain.
Yes.
So Ahab went to eat and drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel.
Come on now.
Then he bowed down to the ground, and he put his face between his knees,
Yes.
Hey.
and said to his servant, Go up now, look toward the sea. So he went up and looked, and said, There is nothing. And 7 times he said, Go again. Then it came to pass the 7th time that he said, There is a cloud as small as a man's hand rising out of the sea.
All right.
So he said, Go up and say to Ahab, Prepare your chariot and go down before the rain stops you. Verse 45, Now it happened in the meantime that the sky became black with clouds and wind, and there was a heavy rain.
Yes.
So Ahab rode away and went to Jezreel.
Uh-huh.
For a very few minutes, I want to talk for the time that is allowed to me, given this subject, flash flood warning.
Come on here.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Flash flood warning. Look at somebody and say, Neighbor,
Neighbor,
get ready.
Get ready.
There's a flash flood warning.
There's a flash flood warning.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Here in the book of 1 Kings, we see here that there is a major prophet. If you see, there is the book of 1 Samuel, the book of 2 Samuel, the book of 1 Kings and 2 Kings, the book of 1 Chronicles and 2 Chronicles. What you will notice is that some things that are in 1 Kings is not in 2 Kings. Some things that's in 1 Samuel is not in 2 Samuel. Some things that's not in 2 Chronicles is not in 1 Chronicles. So the book of 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel are parallel with each other. They complete the entire book, just like 1 Kings and 2 Kings complete each other. 1 Chronicles and 2 Chronicles complete each other. But here in the book of 1 Kings, we see that we meet a man by the name of Elijah. Elijah the prophet, Elijah the Tishbite. Now notice that Elijah does not have no background in this. If we see here Elijah in chapter 17, if I go back a little bit, in chapter 17 we see a man by the name of Elijah, but given he doesn't have no background, no genealogy, no lineage as to where Elijah comes from, all we know is that the prophet came.
Yes.
Amen.
Chapter 17, it starts off by saying that Elijah declares that there will be no rain among the land. He speaks to the king of Ahab and he says, there will be no rain among the land according to my word. And then God tells Elijah to go to a brook where I will feed you. But catch this, you're going to be fed not by people, but by a raven. Now that notice is something in me because ravens are filthy. Ravens are dirty animals. Ravens don't hang around clean things. Ravens don't hang around things that's perfect. Ravens hang around things that are nasty and that have garbage around them and that are filthy and dirty. And a lot of times we're looking for blessings from perfect people. God help me. But God told me to tell you that your next blessing is going to come from something dirty. Your blessing is going to come not from something that's clean, but something that's dirty that's going to give you a clean substance.
Yes, God.
So we see here that Elijah in chapter 17, he commands that there is a drought of no rain. Then later on in chapter 17, we see here that he meets a widow woman. And then we see here that he raises the widow woman's son from the dead. And here in chapter 18, if I can stick right here, he says that he makes a challenge to the god of Baal. He makes a challenge to 450 prophets who are worshiping a false god. The false god by the name of Baal. So Elijah puts out a challenge, and the challenge is, let's see whose God can make fire fall. So he makes the challenge of who God can make fire falls. And so the 450 prophets, catch this, they call upon their god of Baal and nothing happens. But Elijah steps up and he calls upon our God to make fire fall. Can I tell you that this is not the season for you to argue about religion. This is not the season for you to argue about who people believe in. Because I'm to the point in my life to where you don't have to believe in my my God. You can believe in Muhammad. You can believe in the Big Bang Theory. You can believe in natural science. Come on, somebody. But I just want to know, can the God that you serve, God help me, make fire fall? Can the God that you serve heal cancer? Can the God that you serve make a way out of no way? Can the God that you serve bring joy in the morning? Can the God that you serve,
Come on here now.
Yes.
can the God that you serve make it happen? And so we see here that in verse 44, I'm getting to my seat, and it came to pass at the seventh time that he said, behold, there it rises a cloud out of the sea as small as a man's hand. Now catch this, the servant sees the cloud, but it's not the size he expected to be. Can I tell you that great blessings often come from small beginnings? That's why Zechariah 4 says, do not despise small beginnings. So you don't think that the little things in your life don't count. God help me. Don't think that God don't take the little things to make it bigger. Because what he makes little, he can make big. What he makes small, he can turn it into giant. You gotta understand that the microscopic things in your life become macrographic. If that didn't happen, then this wouldn't happen. If this turn didn't happen, then I wouldn't be here, and everybody would not be in the place that you are at now if this or that didn't work out like it did then. God help me in here. And so we see here that God takes a small cloud, the size of a man's hand. And so he says here in verse 45, clause A, and it shall come to pass in a little while. Somebody holler, in a little while. I come to tell somebody to hold on to your small blessings, because in a little while you're going to see the fulfillment. In a little while you may just have a phone interview, but in a little while you may not be sick, you may not be healed all the way, but in a little while you may be taking prescription pills, but in a little while your family may just want to come to church once a month, but in a little while. I wish I had some help in here. So in a little while, he says here that the heavens grew black and clouds and wind began to come, and there was a heavy of rain. Now someone says that this title does not match with this subject. Let me help you. A flash flood is a sudden violent flood after a heavy rain. Can I tell you that when this rain is coming, and I come to speak prophetically to this house, that there was a flash flood of blessings getting ready to come. There is a flash flood that's about to be poured out. And what seems to be little, don't be mad just because you see 2 families. Don't get mad because you only see 3 children. Don't get mad because you only see every now and then people show up and pop up, because it's just a little rain. But I come to tell you, in a little while, you're going to see the blessings of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In a little while, you'll begin to see it, because there's a flash flood.
Yes, God.
My God, my God.
There's a flash flood. There's a flash flood. You all seen, we got a flash. I remember my wife told me on Saturday morning, she said, we got to get up and go to work. I said, okay. The first thing she said, there's a flash flood. God, help me in here. She said, there's a flash flood. I said, what do you mean? She said, we got to be careful because water is piling up. Can I tell you that get ready, you got to be careful in this season, because what God is about to do, the devil is trying to pile up. He's trying to pile up hate. He's trying to pile up depression. He's trying to pile up confusion. He's trying to pile up things that are not of God. And if you are not careful, you're not going to be flooded by God, but you're going to be flooded by the enemy.
Yes. Yes.
Flash flood. I'm almost to my seat. I got 1 minute left, but let me tell you that you ought to get ready, because there's a cloud the size of a man's hand. Think it not strange that it's been raining all weekend. It's because God is getting ready to do something spiritually, what you've been seeing in the natural. Just because Houston's flooded, get ready, because Emmanuel Temple of Praise is about to be flooded. You got to understand that when the flood comes, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. When the flood comes, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. When the flood comes, no weapon, come on somebody, what the devil meant for evil, God is getting ready to work out for your good. When the flash flood comes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
God.
Hallelujah.
So that's what I want to come to tell you in these
My
next
God.
few seconds is that get ready for the flash flood. If you believe the flood is coming, I need you to give God a shout of praise right there.